Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and for those of you who are new here, I'm Elfie, and this is my day in the life of an Idris logistics officer who doesn't know what she's doing. Today, I'm going to be taking you on a journey of the first ever Gargantua training operation. For this mission, we used the SR radio system, which was pretty legit. There were 10 channels where I could listen to each sector and figure out what my role was on the Idris. A couple of us started out our day by calling in the 600I to transport those of us who were a little late from Stanton to Pyro. For the training mission, the goal was to practice sync jumps, fighter-pilot cohesion, and make some money in the process from some of the Pyro missions that none of us had started. We called in another transport ship that was the smallest thing ever, and it was a must that we loaded up Hauser's little suitcase full of clothes. That is the tiniest little thing.
So what I'm going to need you to do is you're going to need to fly this. And you're going to need to land it in the Idris when I pull it out.
It's fine. Just go slow, have the landing gear down.
Go real slow.
Why are we putting his stuff in the ship that I'm flying?
It's okay. If it dies, it's fine.
Oh, here, I'll hold it in. Here, get in.
And Captain Lee decided that I was the gal for the job. My flying skills are level, let's say noob, and we technically made it to the hangar. I ended up with a crime stat, which I didn't realize was a thing. I'm just a bad driver. At least I didn't kill anyone.
Yes.
Crime rate stat rating increased.
Alright, hit you.
What does that
Crime
mean?
stat rating increased to what?
What crime did I commit aside from being a bad driver? Once we were all in Pyro on the Idris, we met in the briefing room where Captain Lee and Hauser went through their little speeches about call signs and what we were supposed to be doing that day. I thought it was kind of silly at first, and I clearly wasn't listening, but maybe I wasn't the only one as seen here.
So we're going to have a pop quiz thing here. Alright, Elfie, what is the Idris call sign?
Grizzly.
F. Alright, bear pack.
Once Bearpack decided to wake up, we were explicitly told what the call signs were and we were ready to go. We got into position and I took a look around the control room to get familiar with the buttons. Essentially, all I needed was to hit open and close on the front and back doors to the hangar when the fighters were ready to go out or return. This might seem like a boring job, but I think it's pretty legit and pretty important, especially to keep things running smoothly. At the end of the day, I might really not understand what's going on, but at least I learned the call signs and I learned how to use the radio. When the fighters were out flying and fighting, I decided to take a walk around the ship. I replaced some of the fuses that were missing, and I even brought some snacks to the pilot ready room and separated them into stacks for easy grab and go. Everything was going pretty great. I let the fighters out.
One's launching.
2 launching.
And I let the fighters in.
Go ahead and pass me 3, I'll go last.
I'm above it.
Grizzly 2 on approach. Four on approach. 4 on the deck, all aboard.
So, I always made sure that the hangar was closed up and secure because one of my first experiences on the Idris was that some of our friends decided to help us when there was an event going on and they flew into our hangar. I invited them to party and it just happened to be friends, but I learned, don't do that. So, when the fighters returned, I inspected some of the ships and saw that some of them were damaged. But we didn't have a repair gun, and this was really just another lesson learned to be more prepared for next time. There wasn't anything I could do, and I couldn't really load missiles because they weren't being used, but at least we were prepared. Everything was going relatively smooth for our first training mission. That is, until I heard this on the radio.
4's down.
2's down. I think we ran into each other.
Once Hauser, the last man standing, made it back to the ship, We needed to go back to a station so that the guys could reclaim their ships. However, I was very reluctant when I was asked to hop into the Pisces and fly the crew to the station, but I decided to comply. Now, I understand that I needed to be the one to fly so I could drop them off via my hangar and they could call in their ships with their own hangars, and we can all return to the Idris. But I'm not really sure where I went wrong here, and although we had a little bit of a rocky start, I don't know if it was my computer just being a potato, or something didn't load right, or maybe I wasn't really lined up right, even though I trusted it.
Yeah, trust your alignment. You don't need to look outside.
Oh! Okay.
Remember when I said I didn't kill anyone earlier? On the bright side, we were all smart enough when we first loaded onto the Idris to make sure that we were set to respawn on the Idris instead of our home planet. The Idris ended up docking directly into the station, even though it was a little sketchy. So everyone could go get their ships back, and it was at this point that I was over it. I was ready to go chill out, play some Stardew Valley, and just get away. So, overall, it was a good mission with a lot of lessons learned. Hopefully next time we'll fire more missiles and the prep we did would have been a little bit more better for what we needed. But we'll get better at killing the other guys instead of each other. Hopefully. Thanks for watching the video, and if you love Star Citizen and want to see more chaos on the Idris, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out some of the links in the description. Until next time, Elfie out.